Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with a podcast. From me, the lovely BoredGamer, and the even lovelier Zinnia. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
Well, there was a pause there. Did you have to... I was
there
talking to you.
There won't be a pause in the edit. Shh.
What?
Keep going.
It is July the 20th, and it's 2022, and there's been an immense heat wave in the UK. We're going to be talking about Star Citizen in a minute, lots of Star Citizen stuff, but it was pretty hot over the last couple of days, wasn't it, Zin?
Yeah, too hot. Zinnia, too hot.
Zinnia, too hot. I had the best of it because I live by the coast and it wasn't actually too bad by me, and I've got an aircon that blows at me. But other people did not have it so well, and obviously anyone that's had problems in London, sort of heart and thoughts go out to you. But I hope everyone is doing well now and it hasn't melted. How did you do through the heat waves in?
It was hot.
It was hot.
It was hot. I was all right. Like, I've been drinking plenty of water, and we've got an ice machine, so plenty of ice water.
And I kept on going, Zin, are you okay? Do you need to hydrate? Do you need to take a break? Well, it was too hot. I did a little bit of work in the morning, and then when I'm not doing any more work or scripts or reading or anything Star Citizen today, I'm just going to aircon blow at me and watch YouTube videos and do nothing.
Yeah. So we've got an aircon here, just a little portable unit. I say little. I think it's 1200 BTU, 12,000 BTU. I don't know. It's not a smallish one, but it's portable aircon units are not as good as split units. And once it hit a certain temperature in the day, it was like, this is as cold as this room's getting, and that was like 27 degrees, which is still better than the 38 it was outside.
If only Nord did like aircon systems that I could then flog. Oh, yeah, I'd be loaded. But anyway, let's move on to some actual Star Citizen stuff. 3.17.2 is in open PTU at the moment. It is going to be going to live, hopefully very shortly. There was a little message from Chris and Aaron Roberts the other day, basically saying that either at the end of this week or middle of next week, sort of between those periods, that's when they're targeting the live build of 3.17.2, which is in an interesting place at the moment. There's been loads and loads and loads of improvements. You played 3.17.2 a little bit, haven't you, Zin? Obviously, with like a couple of Siege of Orison tests and getting some footage and stuff. Now, they've just increased server size on the PTU to 100 players.
Yes.
And typically when they've done that previously in tests, which is actually quite a long time ago, everything explodes as soon as there's more than 50 players on a server, because of like terrible server degradation and pretty poor network code and lots of problems. It's typically the servers get overloaded, and once they drop below a certain tick rate, everything sort of breaks and everything crashes and all that sort of stuff. And the tick rate is still an issue today, and it causes lots of problems with AI. However, what we saw, or what I've seen with these tests, is actually pretty busy servers. I've seen 100 players in the same area of space all doing silly things together. Terada did a video trying to recreate the Tears of Fire picture, literally having 100 ships, or maybe not 100 ships, but a huge amount of ships, 100 players in a huge range of ships, all just fly into the atmosphere and get the heat effect on at once.
It was pretty impressive to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But oddly, the 100-player tests seem to have gone really well so far. Like, I'm sure people are going to be like, nah, the servers are super crashy, or no, everything else is breaking. And we'll come to a bit of this in a minute, but I've had pretty stable experience still, even throughout the 100-player tests. And AI is mostly functional, or at least sometimes functional. So very impressed with that. Now, the Cloud Imperium have said, look, we're not going to be having the live servers at 100 players. At least that's not the plan. Do you think, Zin, that there's any way possible, even with Cloud Imperium saying, look, we're just doing this for testing in the PTU, do you think it's possible that they could have more than 50 players?
But maybe. It would have to be the fact that these tests come back with the result of it was just overwhelmingly successful. Like, there were no issues. Everything seemed to run smoothly still. Like, we can't see a reason why we can't push this out.
Okay, I suppose that's it. Is if they go, what's the reason that we don't push this out then? Which is unlikely to happen. There's typically going to be a million things, oh, maybe not a million, but
they may be looking at the back end and going, oh, we can see all these issues that were happening, which might not have been that apparent to players, but like those sorts of detrimental things can be worse down the line, sort of thing.
So I think a lot of this has been made possible due to a load of the networking improvements they've made, a mixture of that to AI and to animations and to netcode and sort of, they've got this sort of, they've decoupled a load of the stuff from server tick rates. That's like they've got interpolation and extrapolation or extrapolation, whatever the hell it is, sort of stuff going on here that sort of smooths out network code and animations and predicts stuff a lot better. And that means that we've got significantly better AI and animations. And we did have a load of problems with server crashes and it being incredibly unstable while they were testing this. And they're still testing this. They're testing higher server player counts. They're testing lots of tweaks to AI, to the netcode. So expect it to be pretty erratic in the PTU until they've finished those tests. Or maybe not. Maybe everything's going to be beautifully fine if the stars align, which is unlikely. But yeah, I've been pretty impressed with the tests. It's the reason the Star Citizen's an alpha, reason there are PTUs and public test universes, or the test space in even an alpha, is that they do need to test this stuff. It is very buggy sometimes, but sometimes leads to some pretty impressive things. Something that's not too impressive in the latest patches, though, and I'm not sure if you're aware of this because I don't know if I've sent you out to any of these areas or you've got footage there, is that certain areas are just entirely broken with the elevators. Not every area. It's like Grimhex is pretty broken.
I don't often go to Grimhex if I can help it.
I don't think I've actually been there since they've updated the hospital there, oddly. But yeah, there's some really, really, really broken areas and like underground facilities, the bunkers, you just can't access them because the elevators there are broken. Yeah, it's just, they just don't respond. They just don't work, those elevators. And there's loads of other elevators, even a mixture of ship ones, a mixture of hangar ones, a mixture of ones getting to starports that just don't work. And it's just so stressful. Like, those bugs need to be solved for the live build, because otherwise you're just cutting out a huge amount of accessibility to areas in the game. And like, I think at the moment they say don't spawn at Grimhex. Don't spawn at Orison as well. Like, Orison's broken. Really quite annoying, really quite stressful when you have elevator problems. Now, are those elevator issues due to them changing the netcode and the server tick rate stuff and messing around with that? Potentially, but we've always had elevator problems to some extent in Star Citizen, where they just suddenly stop working. It's probably what... I think it's, other than incredibly crashy servers, I think it's the next worst problem.
I remember one... I think it was Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. I hopped on the server. Whether it was PTU or live, I can't remember. But I hopped onto a server and went to the elevators and ended up just being like 8-10 of us just sitting on the floor waiting for the elevators because they weren't working.
Oh, Star Citizen, why do you hate us so much with your elevators? I think after that it's sort of like derpy AI for me. But they need to solve as many of the accessibility problems before a live build, because, as I said, you can't cut out gameplay that you're already expecting, and you can't make the game less playable than it was in the previous patch. But hopefully, again, it's just them testing this and getting it solved and going through the motions to get as many bug fixes in as possible before a live build. And I'm happy for CIG to postpone it for another 3 weeks if they can fix the issues, but hopefully they'll have it done by a week's time or whatever. Do you think that's possible? How likely is it, do you think, that they'll have to postpone it beyond a week for a live build?
I hope not. I don't know.
That's a fair answer.
Yeah, I think a lot of the problems might be due to them trying new things. Like you say, like if the servers are very much connected with their things.
You are a fountain of knowledge. Backend, AI.
Yeah. So all those things
magic.
that interconnect, and if you change something, it'll probably end up messing with something else.
Yes, no, you're totally right with that. That's an interesting point, actually, because there's a load of stuff that players will go, why don't you fix this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you turn collisions off in elevators so that the players don't kill each other? Well, actually, changing that could have a load of knock-on effects that they don't foresee. So there's a lot of problems when they're changing some of this netcode stuff, when they're changing some of the tick rate stuff, when they're changing some of the improving animations and sort of like sync and desync and rub banding stuff. That has a lot of knock-on effects to a lot of other things, probably elevators. So yeah, fair point.
It is an issue with the way that they're wanting to build their game. They want everything to be essentially running a real-life simulator, or as real life as you can get when you're doing a space simulator. Yeah,
they want elevators to be as physicalized as possible. I mean, they could easily solve this just by having elevators as teleporters.
Yeah.
They ain't going to have any problems with the elevators anymore. Just boom, done. So it's an interesting one. And one day we're supposed to have orbiting moons and planets. That's going to be mental to test.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And persistent entity streaming for 3.18. Like, that's going to be hellish. The reason that patch, that 3.18 patch, that's hopefully going to go into testing very soon, is that, well, because it's got salvage, because it's got the cargo refactor, both big ticket items, and because it's got persistent entity streaming, which will save individual item location data, and then go, oh yeah, I've loaded in, and my little hula doll I left on the planet's still there. That requires them to test it for about 3 months on the PTU, probably, and that's just a guesstimate. Before they release it to live. So whatever you think's happening now, it's going to be a longer PTU test for 3.18, I promise you. But there was a couple of other things, actually, that was interesting problems or bugs that were fixed with 3.17.2. So player-to-player service beacon reputation should now persist. So if I put out service beacons in saying, give me medical help or whatever.
Yes.
Or rate you afterwards, or if that goes successfully afterwards, that sort of reputation is saved. So I think that's an interesting thing that they're now saving reputation on. I just thought it wasn't being saved. I didn't realise it was a bug that they had fixed.
All right.
So in the future, I'm hoping that you can sort of fully filter out, I only want people with this star rating to be able to come and rescue me, or even see this rescue beacon, so you don't get pirated.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really cool little thing, especially because apparently 3.17.2 is having a wipe, but it's not wiping reputation. So it'd be interesting to know if those reputations persist.
Mm.
Also, something that apparently is a bug, or at least is a bug at the moment, is AI will get injured and get the bleed effect on them sometimes, like a player will, but they don't heal themselves, so they will eventually bleed out. So obviously that's an issue at the moment because they don't heal themselves, or because they don't recover from bleed. But they fixed that now, so I think they're immune to the bleed effect, which is obviously a little bodge patch fix, sort of hot fix there. But what do you think of that at the moment? Do you think that they should rush the ability to heal themselves or heal bleed?
No, it's not something that is important right now, I don't think.
Okay, yeah, fair one.
It's something that they can focus on later. I think just making it so that they're immune to bleed is probably the best idea.
Yeah, okay. So something I do want to talk about, which is something that people might not know so well. When means in the sort of creating content, the sort of style we have is cover the news, be reactive, summarize all the stuff that CIG say. When enough has changed, we'll do like a big video on what we're expecting for like 3.18, 4.0, what's happening later on this month or later on this year, expectations for things. But while we've got a major patch that is just about to be imminently released, and that typically means that Cloud Imperium are only releasing very small updates for like the roadmap. They don't have like an Inside Star Citizen anymore because it goes on hiatus, and all we're seeing is very small, tiny little tweaks to the PTU as they're getting it ready for live. There's a lot less content for us to cover from the news perspective. So we try and just be reactive still, but sometimes it's a little bit annoying, like we're like, oh, there's a little bit of a drought, so what should we do content on? Well, all we've got to do content on for news is the PTU patches. And at the moment especially as well, I don't really want to keep on rehashing what we're expecting for 3.18, what we're expecting for the road to 4.0, when we largely have talked about that before and there haven't been that many changes. Although that said, that we could talk probably about the road to 4.0 again soon. Do you think that's fair to say with sort of like content just before a major patch is releasing? Do you see it change much, or do you like focus on your lore and stuff?
I'd probably focus on my lore more so than anything.
What plans for your lore do you have in the future? Because obviously you finished all of the...
Well, the majority of the ship manufacturers, yes.
Yes. And before that, you were going through the sort of... What was the name of the sort of lore updates that you were looking through?
Oh, I can't remember.
Spectrum?
They were it was kind of basically the history of the UEE, but they had done a series of big sort of or important points in history, basically. The thing is, I bookmark everything, and then when I do it, I get rid of the bookmark so that I don't try and do it again. So I have a sort of selection of stuff that I'm going through. Yeah, so Zin sort of cleared out most of the history of the UEE and how humans got from current day to a sort of Star Citizen date, from like a history and highlights of that history, how they met alien races and all that sort of stuff. And then she's moved on to ship manufacturers, which she's largely gone through. And now you've got a mixture of like ship manufacturers, other orgs and manufacturers. And I'm looking forward to... People seem to quite enjoy your lore series, that's all. Good, I'm glad. Yeah, I did not know it was going to be as popular as it is. So I'm looking forward to more of that soon. I mean, I've learned a hell of a lot doing it, so I hope other people have too. You've got quite a good speaky voice as well, which is nice. Thanks. Well, people like it. People go, oh, a British woman's voice. Lovely. Like when I do the Queen's voice. Hello. That was last month, Monkey. That was last month. I've got something great for you next month. Oh, no. Battle of the Bricks, that's coming up soon. We're going to watch that, Zin. Yeah? Yeah. So I want to watch it. I would do a watch party, but I don't like doing watch parties unless it's for CitizenCon or something like a major CRG event because, well, I feel like you're getting more from the actual real live stream. And what more am I going to add other than a bad joke or pun every now and then? So Battle of Bricks, it's got the Evil Online community and the Star Citizen community teams sort of doing silly things on a live Twitch stream. They're in the UK... I think they're in UK Manchester studio or somewhere in the UK Manchester together, doing that silly stuff. So one of the things they're doing is building Lego-based ships of the other game. So the EVE Online guys will be building Star Citizen ships and vice versa, which I think's kind of cool. Hopefully it'll be a silly, great little stream. There's giveaways during that stream as well, so you should check it out if you want to get giveaways for EVE or Star Citizen. And it's for Extra Life. I believe, is it Extra Life? I hope it's Extra Life. Yes, I believe it is Extra Life. Okay, perfect. I hope that's the right charity. I think that's on July the 22nd. Oh, I need to bring this up. Zin, you're gonna. Sorry, I've got it. Thanks, Zin. July 22nd. It's July 22nd at 4 p.m. UTC. Check it out. I suspect it will be pretty cool. There might be cool other bits going on, but yeah, they're building some Lego ships. They're doing silly challenges. Hopefully they humiliate themselves, but hopefully that will be a nice bringing together of the Star Citizen and EVE community. It's an interesting one. Me and my friends used to play EVE a lot, and I really love EVE. I'm a big fan of EVE, and I think the EVE community is obviously a lot older than the Star Citizen community, as in the game is like 2011 to 2013. I can remember playing EVE. Let's have a look. Initial release date 2003. What? No. Oh my god, that's what I mean. I think it's 20 years ago. Oh no, Zin, I'm old. Yeah, you are. It's 2000 because I played it when it first came out. 2003. I'm off by a decade. But that is when I played it. Oh, I'm old. And I can't even remember the dates properly. Oh well. Well, I'm looking forward to Battle of the Bricks. It should be a good laugh. And hopefully no one else is going to melt during heat waves. So look after yourselves. Don't know if it's going to be hot anywhere else in the world. It's going to be, I don't know. UK is going to be relatively warm, but I don't think we're going to have as high as we saw on Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, because that was painful. But yeah, we're looking forward to 3.17.2 being released soon. Lots of content we want to get done. Obviously, when we cover the Siege of Orison and have some proper playthroughs and mess around and look at the secrets and Easter eggs of that once it's in a bit more of a stable live state, and do that with anyone else that's online at the time. Because yeah, I do think the Siege of Orison is probably one of the best things that we've seen from Star Citizen for a while, assuming it works. What was your thoughts on Siege of Orison, actually, Zin? I mean, we've talked about this before, but I enjoyed it. Obviously, the issues I had were just getting stranded, being killed by people. I just wanted to try and play it and complete it, and obviously these things were preventing me. Okay, yeah. Is it your favourite event you've seen so far, or did you prefer Xenothreat or another one? No, I think it is my favourite so far.
Cool. Okay, that's cool to hear. But anyway, we'd love to know what you think of 3.17.2 if you're playing in the Open PTU. When it goes to live, tell us what your experiences are of that as well. Siege of Horizon, what do you think of it so far? Have you been playing in the increased server size tests? And you're like, oh yeah, please, CIG, please increase server size. And if they don't increase it for 3.17.2, which is unlikely that they will for the actual live build, do you think they might for 3.18 when they put in persistent entity streaming? Or do you think it's something they're testing for when they put server meshing in with 4.0? But whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Take care, guys. See you on the verse. Peace.
Greetings, citizen. I am NordVPN Man, bringing the justice of cybersecurity to the world. I protect you from ads, trackers, and malware. I punched a guy so hard once with security features that I knocked him back in time. He was able to use the knowledge of the future to become incredibly rich and wealthy. He bought like 10 subscriptions to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer after that. Really smart guy. Another time, I prevented a hacker from snooping at your IP address by taking off his hands. You can't hack with no hands. Probably. Anyway, you should get NordVPN, otherwise the terrorists win.
Every month we have a giveaway. For July 2022, we're giving away a Hull A cargo hauler, as well as a Nomad multi-role freighter. That Nomad also comes with a hovercrod bike. So there's 2 lucky winners this month, and both of those packages contain access to Star Citizen. Comment on any of my videos during this month to be in for a chance of winning that, and check the description down below for more details. Please consider becoming a Patreon or channel member with the join button under my videos. This nets you a variety of exclusive extras, badges, influence on the channel and content and special videos, as well as helping us produce daily content. Thank you very much for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you in the verse.